the screen. There we go. We skipped last week because I was having some internet problems. Internet is fixed. I'm back. Here I am. We have the whole crew with us as well, live from Texacola, somewhere west-ish of the Mississippi. Is Jim E. Noble. What's going on, sir?
How to do? Hello from the Motel Hotel Holiday Inn.
Bates Motel, New Mexico branch.
Yeah, on my way to Mexico with all that money.
And of course, Mr. David Faught.
Hello, everyone.
Live from. Did you get snow? Did you get a lot of snow?
Yes.
Or was that just Colorado?
Oh, that was Colorado. No, we was in the cylinder today, so yeah, we had really nice weather. A lot of rain, but we had nice weather.
How is a lot of rain nice weather?
Well, the temperature was good. It was good. The rain, not so much.
Okay.
I'm a rain person. Like when it rains, I'm happy.
Somehow David reverted to Mario World. It's a me. It's a David.
I do the Dracula, but it turned into Mario.
Dracula is not Italian.
I know exactly.
He could be Italian.
Dracula's not Italian. There are Italian Draculas. Dracula is not Italian.
It was a Rutger Hauer Dracula, so there you go. And he's not Italian, but still.
Oh my God. Yeah, we're gonna talk Draculas tonight a little bit, but we're just gonna do vampires in general too. I mean, they've made a couple of vampire movies at this point. There's a couple of them out there. I'm sure you've probably seen one or two.
There's only a few.
Yeah.
It's like 3 every year.
I'm going to start with what is, I believe, widely considered the first vampire movie. And I'm curious if you guys have even seen it. Is Nosferatu on your having seen list?
Yep,
I've seen that.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm pretty sure that this is the first vampire movie. I mean, that's kind of what it's billed as. From what I know and have read, I haven't heard really anything other to kind of change that. I only saw this movie because of another movie, and that is, of course, Shadow of the Vampire with Willem Dafoe. Yep. Shadow of the Vampire came out and somebody told me about it because I didn't know what it was, and they were like, oh yeah, it's basically like it's Nosferatu, and it's the filming of Nosferatu, with this weird twist to it. And I was like, oh, okay, well that's cool, but maybe I should go see Nosferatu before I go see this movie. And I'll tell you right now. Well, so first of all, Nosferatu, guys, it is a silent movie. This is from 8,000 years ago. They made this movie, so it's a silent movie. But it is actually pretty good. If you can be a fan of the old school, it is a pretty good movie. It's got some cool. I mean, obviously you can see the makeup is really cool from way back in the day. The music's a little weird, but it is a cool, creepy vampire thing. And if you should decide to go see Shadow of the Vampire, go see Nosferatu first, because if I hadn't, Shadow of the Vampire would have made no sense to me. I would have been I would have had the understanding of it, right? But watching Nosferatu and then days later going and see Shadow of the Vampire, you're like, oh my God, these guys really understood this Nosferatu movie, and they really tried to go deep into it. There's certain there's very specific scenes from Nosferatu that they pulled and then put it into Shadow of the Vampire. And if you know them, it's hysterical. You're like, oh my God, that's really, really good. And Willem Dafoe should 100%. Willem Dafoe should have won the Oscar for this role. He didn't win. No, he lost. He lost to oh my God, he lost to the guy from Crash. I want to say Benicio del Toro, something like that.
Oh, was it James Spader?
No, it was not James Spader. It was Benicio del Toro, one of those guys.
Okay.
From Crash, he won the Oscar, and but I'm just like, dude, no way, this was your Oscar winner that year. He was robbed. So yeah, what was your guys' Nosferatu experience? How did you stumble onto it?
Oh,
Go ahead,
it
Jim.
was like a horror-thon party type thing, and I got really drunk. But that was like the first movie, so like I remember most of it, but like everything that came after that, like once we got Lost Boys, I don't remember any of it. But
Oh,
for that night, I mean, I've seen Lost Boys a million times, so
million and one. For me, we actually saw it in school.
What?
Yeah, we did.
for film.
We had a really cool school. Like, we had a film class, and we'd have to sign papers and stuff and all, and have our parents sign the deals and everything and all. Hell, we ended up watching. Nosferatu was one of them. We watched Dracula. We even watched Platoon. Man, I am not kidding you. Like, they would get movies like kind of historically, or films that was relevant, and we'd study them and stuff and all, and do reports on them and stuff and everything.
Well, we actually went on a field trip to see Platoon in the theater. So I get it. Yeah. Oh yeah.
And,
wow.
Yeah, we even seen Star Wars and because of the special effects, and we had to do like reports on special effects and everything. But yeah, mine was I actually saw it in school, and I fell in love with it. It got me into vampire movies a little bit more. Like, of course, back then I watched some other ones, but that was my first taste in Nosferatu.
And yeah, Mr. Bishop, yes, you're right. It wasn't Crash, it was Traffic. Was the movie I was looking for.
Traffic. Okay.
And Benicio del Toro won it for Traffic over Willem Dafoe. Yeah, yes, that's what I was looking for. That's what I was looking for. Yeah. I was trying to rack my head and figure out what the first vampire movie I ever saw was, and I couldn't come up with it. I couldn't figure it out because there's just too many. But I have a feeling, more than likely, that it was probably one of the Hammer horror things, because like Elvira used to play all the Hammer horror stuff, back in the old days. All the stuff with oh my God, who played Tarkin? Grandma Tarkin. Yeah, but who the other guy? Peter Cushing. Peter Cushing. Yeah, Peter Cushing was in all these things. Christopher Lee was, of course, Dracula. Here's good old Christopher Lee. He was in a ton of Hammer horror movies as Dracula. So I'm guessing this was my first Dracula experience. I'm trying to think back into like the 70s and 80s vampire stuff, which would have been happening when I was growing up and VHS was happening. But I got to think this was it for me. And oddly enough, I don't think it ever struck a chord. Like, I think it was just sort of like, okay, whatever.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, right? But that's what I'm saying. It's like seeing a vampire movie for the first time. You should have like a memory of like, what was it? Because that's a pretty. It's like, what's your first Frankenstein movie? That kind of stuff. Like all those things used to be like, yeah, I have this memory of like seeing this movie, and I have more memories of like watching Poltergeist at home on HBO than I have of a Dracula movie. I think I saw a lot of these. I don't know if maybe there was too many of them, and I was just like not paying attention or what. But even now, my primary memories of the Hammer horror stuff. The vampire stuff are the brides more so than Christopher Lee, who was a crazy vampire guy, Dracula guy. But they had like Carolyn Monroe, and this is like Hammer this is okay stuff over here for 10, 11-year-old Tom on Saturday afternoon.
They had the bountiful female vampires. The how can we. Yes, the plentiful, female vampires, and I remember that as a kid myself, and they were way more cool when they were biting people,
right? And not sparkly.
And not sparkling, right.
Oh, please don't tell me we're not talking about that. Please.
Oh, you mean the best vampire movie ever, according to our box office?
I'll get the remote after you. I've got a No, okay, never mind. I thought I had a butter knife over here for a while ago. Never mind. I was gonna go.
Do you guys? So I mean, like I said, for me, I have no real memory of vampire movies being significant for me. Was it something you guys had a vampire moment that jumped out at you, or where are you with the vampire stuff? I mean, what maybe it was Lost Boys was the one, you know, but where did it go for you?
For me, so I most likely my first experience with vampires was it was a Treehouse of Horror Simpsons episode, the Bart Simpson's Dracula.
Oh. Okay.
Which spoofs Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yeah.
Which I never even saw for like 20 years. Like I only saw that episode of The Simpsons. But as far as like, you know, because you gotta remember I was born in the 90s, so like a lot of the vampire stuff, like Lost Boys is not a kid movie, but I definitely that was a movie that was aired like almost every like weekend on some network. So I definitely that was probably the first full vampire movie that I watched all the way through. And there was a kid movie with that kid from Jerry Maguire called Little Vampires.
Yes.
Oh, I vaguely remember that.
Yeah. Christy
he was the Jerry Maguire kid, and he was in Stuart Little, and he was like the main character. And there we go. Yeah. Yep, that was my first that's definitely my first vampire experience was Bart Simpson. You gotta kill the head vampire. That's his crotch.
Yeah.
I was never I was really never a Simpsons guy, but the Treehouse of Horror episodes were good. I mean, you stepped out of the normalcy of the Simpsons and into the just whatever the hell you want to do, man. Let's go with so Treehouse of Horror stuff is really good. Yeah.
And it's not always horror. It's like science fiction.
Yeah,
stuff
sci-fi, too, so whatever. Yeah. So, Dave, what's your earliest vampire memory experience?
Earliest vampire memory, yeah, no problem. I do love Lost Boys. Lost Boys is one of my favorite ever vampire movies.
That's not the question, Dave. What's your first memory?
My first still is Welcome to Fright Night.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Fright Night.
That's a forgotten that one gets overshadowed a lot.
You know, I've never seen the original. I saw the remake with Colin.
Oh my god,
Colin
dude.
Farrell.
Really? You've never seen the Chris Sarandon one?
You never seen it?
No, I've never seen it. I never saw Fright Night.
Is the girl next door when she has the big fucking mouth and she's like a vampire.
Sure.
Like,
yeah, I'm aware of it. I've just never seen it.
But the remake is good.
I like the remake.
I did too.
I mean, I had no preconceptions coming in, so it wasn't like I was comparing anything, you know. But I liked it. I thought it was okay.
Yeah, the original is old school. I mean, they've got him portrayed as the Mist. They got him portrayed as the Bat. They got him portrayed as everything that you think Dracula is. They got this really cool animatronic bat that looks like a bat/dragon looking thing. And they fight it, and it's nasty looking. And what's his name, Jim? His friend, what's he call him? Too Cool Brewster or something.
Yeah.
Cool or something, Brewster.
Oh, fucking A.
I cannot remember that saying for some reason, but yeah, Fright Night was my earliest venture into vampire movies, and then from there on, I really, really liked them.
So I'm gonna bring a Dracula out that you guys aren't even thinking about, and there's probably more, but I'm gonna bring out one because this one it's not your typical here's Dracula movie, but definitely 100%. This was a early Dracula moment for me, and it has stuck with me forever, and it's the Mad Monster Party.
Oh
yeah.
The old Rankin Bass, all the guys that did Rudolph and Snowman, all that stop motion stuff. Mad Monster Party was back in the day. It used to be like, hey, every Halloween we're gonna play Mad Monster Party, and that is the only time you ever got to see it, because there was no VHS yet. Like there was nothing. It's just like it was like the Wizard of Oz. Like once a year, this is on, so you better watch it, and that's it. But yeah, Mad Monster Party. again, it was a comedy, so it wasn't your, it wasn't this. But I was like, yeah, this is cool. I mean, it had all the monsters. It had Dracula, it had Frankenstein,
Right.
Bride of Frankenstein, Creature of the Black Lagoon, Invisible Man,
It's a
all
party.
that kind of stuff. It is a full-on monster party. Yes. You got an oddball vampire that you can pull out of your ass.
James Woods vampire movie.
Sure,
Yep, vampire.
Sure. That's not that weird, dude. That's not that weird.
It's James Woods. I like James Woods.
I thought it was a good movie. I mean, it's a weird camp movie, kind of
right.
like From Dusk Till Dawn. It's not.
Oh yeah.
It's camp.
Yes.
It's camp horror. But yeah, it's good. I mean, Lost Boys is too, but
right. And Dusk Till Dawn is like one of those movies where it's like the first like hour and a half is like a crime escape film, and then it turns into a vampire film.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, it's a monster movie. Okay.
Yeah.
with it's a monster movie with Selma Hayek's boobs. We're okay.
Yes.
Acceptable.
Making boobs.
Acceptable. Yeah.
And Cheech Marin plays like 5 characters.
Yeah. The one that I like that you guys, I remember specifically Tom saying this that he didn't like. I like Monster Squad.
Oh my God. You know what? Listen, this guy looks ridiculous.
I know.
He looks ridiculous. He calls this girl in the movie a bitch. He's like, you little bitch. I'm just like, when does Dracula call somebody a bitch? Like, this is stupid, guys. I really tried. Now, granted, I did not see this movie when I was a kid, so I have no nostalgia for it. Like, zero. It was just, I don't remember where I saw it. It was like cable somewhere, and I was like, oh, Monster Squad. All these guys talk about Monster Squad. I'll watch Monster Squad. This is stupid. As soon as he was like, you're a little bitch, I was like, you lost me.
Yeah, I was the same way with Monster Squad. I never saw it when I was a kid or teenager.
Oh man.
Like
yeah.
See, now that's a little shocking for me. With you and you're like, hey, I want to see all this stuff as soon as I can. Probably that's a little shocking to me that you didn't land on it.
Yeah,
I don't know why I didn't. I really don't know why I didn't.
Yeah, because for me, I grew up with the age of like not just Blockbuster and the movie rentals, but like then it started turning into the rentals on demand on the DVR, Comcast and all that. But yeah, I just missed out on that one. I don't know why.
See, I got the tape for Christmas one year. They had like a Walmart version. Remember there was Walmart versions of the golden...
Yeah, but did someone give it to you like, hey, Dave, here it is, or did you want it?
No, I wanted it. Like,
okay.
and I wanted it. And I was like, oh, I want this movie when it comes out. I love it.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it just was nothing about it that, man, just thinking back about it, I'm like, I couldn't watch it again. I don't think I could watch it again.
Wow.
What about that Johnny Depp one, the reboot of the TV show, Dark Shadows?
Dark Shadows. It's not a good movie. It's so disappointing. I mean, it has such a great cast, man.
Great
cast. And it was one of these things where I saw it in the theater and I was like,
oh,
I didn't really like it, right? And then years later, it was one of these things where it's like it couldn't be as bad as it was, as I thought it really was, right? And so it's like, I'll watch it again. It's like, no, this is so.
It's like they got me again.
So yeah. God damn you, Tim Burton, and your bullshit. Another one in the 50% no column. Yeah, that was a disappointment. I mean, it just felt like it didn't know what it was trying to do at all. Like, let's just ad lib a movie. What do we want to? What scene do we want to film today? Okay, we'll go to the fish market. Like, yay!
Right.
So weird, and not in a good way. Not remotely in a good way. Going back, here's another Dracula. I don't know if you guys have seen this. I have not seen it. I remember vividly like advertisements and stuff for it on TV. I never saw it. This is back in the 70s. Love at First Bite.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
I had the drive-in.
George Hamilton.
Yep.
Yeah. I have not seen this one.
What's that one of Jim Carrey?
Oh, Once Bitten.
That's the one.
Yeah, that one's good.
There's another one that I saw, and I can't remember the name of it though. But like the only thing I remember is like there's a sex scene in it.
Oh,
But that's like all of them.
Oh, the one vampire movie with the sex scene? Like there's only one with a sex scene.
But like they're having like sex in a car.
That limits it.
It was the 80s one.
Trick or Treat. No.
Can't remember it though.
Car.
And it was a very unflattering butt shot.
of Dracula? Dracula's butt?
No, the guys having sex in the car. They weren't even vampires. They're just having sex in the car.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
It wasn't vampire sex. Because it was vampire sex, then it was probably True Blood. Because that's like all they ever did in that show. Like every time I turned on an episode, they're just banging. I'm like, is there a story to this? Or what's happening?
It's basically Charlie Rad were to do a vampire story.
Right. It's just Rad Blood. Let's go. Rad Blood.
Do you remember anything else about it, Jim? Like who starred in it or?
No, I think he was like an ice cream guy. He drove an ice cream truck. Although maybe I'm getting Killer Clowns mixed up with this movie. I don't know.
It's not Ice Cream Man, is it?
No.
Ron Howard's brother, Clint Howard?
No, it's not that one. Definitely not that. No, like he's like trying to hook up with this chick in his ice cream truck, and then he looks over in a car, and then like you see this dude's ass just going up and down.
That's Killer Clowns, isn't it?
It's not Killer Clowns. No, because the ice cream truck guys weren't at the hookup point. Well, they came up to the hookup point to sell ice cream, but no, it's definitely not Killer Clowns.
Okay.
You got me on that one. I remember there was, and we can talk about this movie too. It's another Dracula movie. Oh no, you know what? It's not that. I'm thinking of a completely different movie with a completely different sex scene. Completely different. Holy crap. Or maybe I am. Maybe it is. You guys tell me. So this was one of the ones, and I actually kind of like this movie because of the way, and I think I want to say this was Wes Craven. It's called Dracula 2000.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's good.
It's got what's his name? Hyde from that 70s show in that.
Yes. And it has 7 of 9. She's in it.
Yes.
It's got a weird cast and it has a really weird Dracula. Like that's Dracula right there. He's kind of weird.
I always think about that movie.
I'm remembering a scene with that guy where he's making out with like a chick, and then like her mom comes in and he's like makes them make out. Was that this movie or was that like a completely different movie?
I mean,
God, it's been so long since I've seen it.
There was that one.
I can't remember if it was a Dracula movie or if it was like an Antichrist movie.
The Antichrist movie. Whoa.
There's one with what's his name? Christian Slater. Oh, Interview with a Vampire. There's some lesbian make out in that.
Oh, sure. Yeah, Interview with a Vampire is fantastic. I vaguely, this was kind of like pre-internet for the most part, but I kind of remember it being kind of like poo-pooed at the time. And I think it was because of Tom Cruise, and I think kind of in general all of their accents. It's sort of like it's sort of like Keanu Reeves, you know, in his Dracula movie where they're trying to pull off these accents and it's just not landing. But from a movie sense, you know, the story and everything. I mean, it was Anne Rice, so it's a cool story anyway. But and I had never read the book, so again, I had no frame of reference of anything. So the movie for me was like, well, this is cool. I mean, this seems all right.
Yeah, there's some parts that it kind of like slows down. I'm just like, but like there's like some really good vampire scenes in it too. Like the whole when they're over in France and all that.
Yeah, the Dracula 2000 I liked. Not so much because it was a great movie, but I liked the way that he actually. Spoiler alert, guys! I mean, it's 20 years old. You're gonna get spoilers. Spoiler alert! Dracula was Judas. Like I was like, that is fucking awesome. Like with all the fear of silver and the coins and everything. I was like, oh my god, that's really really smart to put all of these things together. And Dracula is actually Judas, as opposed to the normal way that we get it, where he's like this this sort of anti-god guy with the crosses and all that kind of stuff. They recreated the mythos for it, and yeah, Mike says that there were 2 sequels, and there were, and they got progressively worse. And in fact, one of them was Dracula in space. They were in space.
Yep.
So again, like we talked with Adam Marcus a while back, he's always like, as soon as your monsters are going to space, you're all done. It's over with. And but yeah, they go into space, and actually Erica Eleniak is in that Dracula in space movie. So
really?
So, yeah.
Wait, what are the names of the sequels? It's obviously not 2001, 2002.
No.
Was it 2001?
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
That's a Space Odyssey. Well, actually,
2001, A Space Odyssey.
Dracula 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Okay, so the sequels were Dracula Ascension in 2003, and then Dracula Legacy in 2005.
Yes.
I don't think I've ever seen those.
They had created a plot for a 4th film, but it had never made it.
Damn it.
I don't think that's a damn it, dude. Those movies got like.
But we got 15 Twilights.
You got 4.
4.5.
4.
Oh, we got that Eddie Murphy one.
You got
Was
4
that
Like
Eddie
4.5,
Murphy one?
God damn it.
Wasn't there one of Eddie Murphy? There's definitely one of Eddie Murphy, right?
Oh yeah, Vampires in Brooklyn. Yeah.
Vampires in Brooklyn, yeah.
And then there was Vamp with
Good one.
Grace Jones, wasn't it? Vamp.
Well, literally, there's a million vampire movies. I mean, like, quite literally. I went through this list. They listed the 150 best.
Wow.
A lot of it is stuff I've never heard of.
The 150 best, meaning they listed all 150 vampire movies.
No, they listed 150 of the 150 million that exist. I mean, a lot of this stuff is from the 70s. A lot of Hammer stuff.
Right, that makes sense. The Hammer stuff's on there.
Yeah, there's a lot of odds and ends in here. Like, did you guys ever see Stakeland?
Yes.
Yes.
With Danielle Harris?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, Stakeland was kind of an interesting. It was kind of like Zombieland, but with vampires.
Yep.
That kind of worked. Of course, there was the 30 Days of Night, which is actually a really smart idea. For those that don't know, 30 Days of Night was a comic book. And basically, yeah, and basically, it's a city in Alaska. I think it's Barrow, Alaska, something like that. And the idea is that up in Alaska for like 4 or 5 months, you get no sun. It's gone for a really, really long time. And vampires really, at least according to the movie, they kind of land there accidentally from a Russian cargo ship, but they land in Alaska, and they're just like, well, this is all right. And you have and then the sun goes down for 4 months, and of course the blood flies across the snow. Josh Hartnett was in that one.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of who else, but that was a pretty good movie. I never read the comics, so the movie I liked. Again, I like conceptual stuff like that. It's like, how do you take vampires and like find a way to tweak them? There was a comic book from Image Comics, I think it was called Dark Blue, something like that, where a vampire figured out that if she lived underwater, there's no sun. And so she's literally living underwater because she doesn't have to breathe or anything, because she's already dead. And she's down there like biting sharks and stuff. And it's crazy. So I love that kind of stuff. That's really outside the box and smart.
Yeah.
How do we
cool.
reset the vampire into a new world that is going to be like that? So yeah, 30 Days a Night is cool, and I think it's called Dark Blue or The Blue or something. It's from Image Comics. You guys can check that out.
I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, I met Steve Niles at a con a couple years ago, and man, that guy is a super nice guy.
Yeah, he's super nice.
I mean, he just churns out horror stuff. I mean, like, just churns it out.
He did Army of Darkness for Dynamite for a little bit. Did the whole marriage. Ash gets hitched in Army of Darkness universe. That was pretty interesting.
Well, and he made I don't know what it is. It's called October Faction, and that got turned into a TV show on Netflix.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So it's horror. Right. I know that, but I don't know what it is. So yeah, Steve Niles is just like basically he's like Stephen King. Like, I'm just gonna write some horror today. And just like okay, on to the next one.
I don't know, like when met him, Jim, when you met him, like when we met him, like we bought like a bunch, because I'm a huge Steve Niles fan, because I do like I've read his comics and everything and all, and read the comics. And he was telling about all that. We got in a horror movie rant talking. He's like, so I bought a couple things. He's like, just wait a second, hang on. And he gets me a poster out, this big ass poster from the movie and all this and freaking comics. He's like, here, and just starts signing them. He goes, here's, take them. He goes, this was fun, man. I want to thank you for this and all. I'm like, holy crap, dude.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm like, he's a huge horror nut. Like, he's wow. He'll talk your leg off with horror.
Yeah, because when I met him, he had just done, like, I think it was like, I don't know how the volumes work of Army of Darkness at Dynamite, but it was like volume 3 or something. And Sudan was doing covers, so I had like a bunch of those to get signed. And he was telling me about the Ash Gets Hitched comic, which hadn't been announced yet. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna marry Ash. And I was like, what? No way, man. And then like a few months later, like they announced it. I was like, oh man, I knew about this before anyone else. Well, I'm sure other people knew, but
that's cool.
So I'm going to grab something here because this is a real thing, and I'm gonna show it to you so everybody knows that it's a real thing, because it was mentioned in the room.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Let me get the image up here.
Did that one have Gerard Butler in it? I forgot about that.
So I think it was who said it. So it's Mike. Mike has this Billy the Kid versus Dracula, and you laugh and you're like, ha 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 ha. No, this is real, people.
It's true.
This is real.
That's awesome.
Look at that, John Carradine. It has John Carradine in it. That's amazing.
Oh my god.
Who plays Dracula?
I don't know.
It's gotta be John Carradine. That looks like him as a picture, isn't it?
I will find out. 1966 was this movie. Holy smokes.
Oh my god. The West's deadliest gun.
So yes, John Carradine was Count Dracula. Yes.
Yes.
Wow. Huh.
That's a pretty wild thing.
I wonder who won. Because they're both kind of bad people.
Well, that's true. That's true. Maybe this is what Young Guns 4 is going to be. Like a reboot. Reboot Young Guns and Dracula at the same time.
That's how you get my ass back to the theater.
Well, listen. I don't know how you would handle that. I was going to say Dracula and Billy the Kid are both public domain. There's no reason someone can't write this story again. I think you might just have to change the title to Dracula versus Billy the Kid to avoid any sort of like, just flip it. No, this has nothing to do with what you made. Nothing to do with it. It's called Dracula and Billy the Kid, not Billy the Kid.
Or you should call it Billy the Kid versus Dracula Part 2.
Part two.
Make it classy. Part 2.
Well, if you call it Part 2, then you have the opportunity to get Charlie Sheen to play Dracula when they make the movie.
Oh, Emilio as Billy the Kid and Charlie Sheen as Dracula.
Oh my God.
Oh damn.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing.
And Martin Sheen as the crazy old coot who every scene goes,
Martin Sheen,
they really do look like my kids.
Martin Sheen can be Van Helsing. I mean, that's easy. You're done.
Oh my God, yeah.
You're done.
Oh yeah. And like every scene is basically like Martin Sheen talking shit about Charlie Sheen to Emilio, but like it's their characters talking shit, but really it's like the family talking shit about the freaking the what do they call it? The misfit child.
Yeah, the black sheep.
The black sheep of the family.
Black sheep in the cloak. He blood sucks everybody. Yeah.
It could be the tiger blood. He could be on the tiger blood.
Like roasting of Charlie Sheen through the whole movie.
There could be a scene with a dead tiger in front of Dracula,
Yep.
and like he just turns to the camera and winks.
And then like in Transylvanian, it's like he says a Transylvanian word, right? But underneath it says winning.
Yes.
Yeah.
Translation winning. Hasfonson winning.
And then like
Brabuca.
and then there'll be a thing where he's like, I once took on 2.5 men.
Oh Jesus.
You're welcome, Hollywood. You're welcome. You can have that one.
Yes.
He's been out of work long enough that I feel like he'd be pretty much game for anything now.
Don't
Well,
give Hollywood
listen,
ideas.
this guy used to be at the top of the charts, right? I mean, multimillionaire. He's now doing cameo. Like he's literally doing cameo. Now, maybe he's just doing it because he's bored. Or maybe it's like, yeah, I need $1,000 every time I talk to your tell somebody.
Is that how much it is? It's $1,000.
For him, I don't know. I know some of the bigger stars command, some fair money.
Yeah.
For a 30-second, hey, I'm Charlie Sheen, happy birthday to you. Fuck off.
Yeah.
So they have TikTok stars on there now. There's one that's like $75.
Listen, what? I am struggling with the term YouTube star. I never want to hear the term TikTok star ever.
Yeah, well, they're on Cameo now, and they charge more than some of the celebrities on there. Like literally, for $5 more than this one that's charging $75, I can get Bill Moseley for $80. Like, why is this guy $75?
Do you know who the hell you can get for $40, Jim?
Me?
No, Felicia Rose.
See, look, why is she charging only 40, but TikTok stars are charged 75? Like, she's more well known.
Who is that? I don't know who she is.
Sleepaway Camp chick.
Oh,
Sleepaway
okay.
Camp.
I don't know a lot of the actor names. Okay.
Yeah.
She's the lady boy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
I would pay $40 just to do that myself.
Hell yeah.
Does she just come on and like scream at you like at the end, like ah?
Yeah, she does the
She's like, you want to see the prosthetic wiener?
Yeah, she stands up. She's got the whole elephant thing going on, and
isn't she married to Bam Margera's brother, Jesse Margera?
I think it's Jesse. Yeah, I think so.
That's some weird crisscross.
See, it all comes.
Hollywood
Tom,
stuff.
it all comes back to Jackass.
God help us all. God help us all if it all comes back to Jackass. Yeah.
Have you seen like Bill Moseley's TikToks real quick? Like, have you seen those, Jim?
Oh,
they're great. He does what's his name? Otis. He goes into full Otis mode.
I know Ted Raimi's on there now.
Oh. Okay, sorry.
On TikTok or on Cameo?
On TikTok. He randomly popped up on TikTok, and I was like, oh wow. Like, because it's not like it's like just him like just talking about like random shit. Like, I went to this concert when I was 16 years old in 1982, and it's like, good for you. Like, it randomly showed up. It wasn't like a themed TikTok thing where it's like all horror things. It was just like he just randomly popped up one day, and I was like, I'm gonna follow him.
Yeah, I'd have to. I wonder if there's any vampires on TikTok.
Oh, I'm sure.
TikTok. Now, TikTok. Sure. If we're gonna have a TikTok app, that's a different app.
I'd sign up for that
app.
You
need to do that, Tom. You need to make that app.
That's a Jim E. Noble exclusive right there.
Well,
that's a totally rad comic book in the making.
Freudian slip. Sorry, guys. TikTok. Watch Jimmy Noble for TikTok soon.
Hottest co-star in a vampire movie, because mostly always a guy in the lead role. Yeah, that's true. There really aren't any female vampire movies. There are women in vampire movies, but there aren't any like, hey, I'm a lady vampire and I'm the star of this movie. Like, that's just not.
Wait, Queen of the Damned.
Queen of the Damned. There you go. That's good. That's good.
Oh,
Queen of the Damned.
Bordello of Blood.
Yeah, Demon Knight 2.
Yes.
What is it?
Bordello of Blood. With
I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that.
It was the
second Demon Knight.
Yeah, it was the second Demon Knight to come out from Tales from the Crypt, the movie.
Oh, here we go. The audience is doing their job here.
Oh,
Underworld,
how
of course.
How could we forget about that one?
Clearly, it's not that good.
Because of them damn werewolves, man. The werewolves take away the spotlight.
Yep.
Or the what do they call them? The lichens.
Yes. Yeah.
Back and sell.
Yeah, but I mean, even if we're going to say that there are some, it's certainly not the norm. I mean, yeah.
5,000. Gina Davis played a vampire.
Well, again, there's women in them for
Yeah.
sure. But as far as like, you know, Dracula, like if you were to have Dracula girl as your lead character, that's a rarity. That's a rarity. Which is kind of interesting because I would think that the Vampire Bride shtick would be kind of easy to translate into some kind of a movie.
Yeah.
Or just a story in general. Jim is doing his Texas Chainsaw Massacre thing.
Ooh, it's a ghost.
That's later on, Jim.
You got Corey Feldman in Lost Boys, attractive co-star. Corey Feldman, Corey Haim. Who's the chick? Who the chick in Lost Boys? Pretty hot.
Yeah, Jamie Gertz. Yeah.
Tim Capello, who's also on Cameo, the saxophone player in Lost Boys.
Oh, you kidding me? He's not on Cameo.
He's on Cameo. I think he's like in the $80 range. I've been watching it. Like he'll talk, and then like play like the saxophone for like 2 seconds. Like,
well, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. All anybody wants to hear is the sax. I mean, that should be his entire cameo. Is just like ready, like go.
Yeah,
hey Tom.
Yeah, because and he like repeats himself a lot. He's like, I'm here to tell you, and like he'll like read the name, and then like he's like, I'm also here to tell you, and then like, remember the Lost Boys?
Hey Tom.
Yeah.
How'd that go again?
I don't know. Buy the soundtrack. Buy the soundtrack, and you'll know. Buy the soundtrack. Give me my 25 cents, Walmart. I just told somebody to buy something from you.
We do have the soundtrack, don't we? That's right. I forgot.
No,
that's what he says. That's what he says a lot.
Thomas,
goes,
that doesn't
do you
count.
Still believe
Buffy is not the vampire. We're trying to find the vampire girls that are the leads, not just the. And there's, like I said, there's plenty of women in the movies. They're everywhere in the movies. That's not the problem. It's finding the stuff like the Kate Beckinsale Underworld and the somebody mentioned Blood Rain.
Blood Rain, yeah.
So you got that. So there's a handful. There's a handful, sure. But yeah, I think that it is. I think it is an interesting thing that hasn't really happened.
Movies.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
There's a hot chick in one of those Blade movies. I'm sure. I don't remember. Honestly, I can't tell you any of the chicks in Blade.
Yeah.
Dude. Blade 3?
Yeah.
See,
Blade 3.
When I think of Blade, I just think of Blade 3. I think of what's his name? Ryan Reynolds. Yeah.
Well, yes.
Hannibal King.
And what's her name? Yeah, wait a minute. She's in. What's the? Oh, who was the villain in that? She was always kind of hot. That was the vampire in Blade Trinity.
Jessica Biel.
No, like Parker Posey. Is that her name or something? Or
that sounds like it could be somebody.
Yeah, it was Parker Posey. Yes, Parker Posey.
Hunter Helmsley in it.
Yeah, it had Hunter Helmsley in it. And...
Yes. Which, weirdly enough, he had. I mean, I guess technically it was just metal. For me, I always translated it to silver. He had silver teeth, and I'm like, wait a minute, he's a fucking vampire. How does he have silver in his mouth?
Exactly.
But I guess technically, yes, it could have just been metal teeth. That's
right.
That is true.
It could be like.
It was like, that's weird, guys. I think you screwed something up. But no, okay, it's metal teeth.
Silver's expensive. It's probably tin.
No, when he said he ate the garlic and farted was the best
But
part.
come on, guys. Blade 3, we're not going to talk about her?
That's what I said, Jessica Biel.
Yeah. But Jim seemed to be struggling with it.
Whistler's daughter.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen that movie.
She was Whistler's daughter, right?
Whistler's daughter, yeah.
Whistler.
And this was one of those movies where you had the opportunity. Like, this was the early opportunity for Marvel to spin off into something with the Night Stalkers, but the movie was just crap. And even with with the Night Stalkers characters, Hannibal and Abigail there. That's a shame because I think you had something that could have been cool there if you had taken those two and run with it, but it tanked pretty hard.
It's because they blew all their budget on cocaine for Wesley Snipes.
Well, they also had a weak ass story. They had a weak ass Dracula. They phoned basically the entire thing in. And then of course, yes, Snipes did not help matters at all.
He's like, thanks for all the money. I can pay my taxes.
Yeah, there's some really, really interesting interviews, especially from Patton Oswalt talking about that movie.
Yeah.
And what happened. Yeah. And they all kind of look back on it and laugh now, but they're like, yeah, that was a shit show. So
2 will always be my favorite on Blade. I love the second one.
Was that the one? No, was that the one with like the badass team and then they all get fucked up?
Yeah, with Ron Perlman.
Yeah, the one with the vampires. They were like predator mouths, like rah.
Was it Norman Reedus in that one?
Yeah.
That's Blade 2 is really good.
Yeah,
I like Blade 2.
Was way too good for that franchise. I was like, because it's Guillermo del Toro too.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Yep.
I was like,
maybe that's why it's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. That was a good. They had a good franchise run. They just kind of crapped the bed at the end of it.
Yeah.
But whatever. Now, whatever this new Blade is going to be, man. I to be perfectly honest, Blade might be the first tank job that Marvel has outside of the Inhumans, of course. Because and I'll just then you can say something, but I think, and I only say that because at least the first two, the Blade stuff and the Wesley Snipes is so it's Robert Downey Jr., right? I mean, it is so ingrained in us that when you try and come in with a new actor, like they tried to do it with the TV show, and that just didn't happen.
Yeah.
I mean, it just was like, this is not acceptable. So you're coming in now and you're like, new actor, new sort of rebooting of the whole thing. It's going to have to stand up to the Blade stuff, the Wesley Snipes stuff. And if it doesn't, it's going to go right off a cliff. Or
Jim.
So the guy that got playing Blade played Cottonmouth,
right, in
Luke Cage, and I think that was probably my favorite character in that show. Like, I thought that guy did really well as Cottonmouth. So I think he could do a really good Blade. And maybe it's not going to be just a Blade movie. Maybe it's going to be like the introduction. Like, it's like, it's kind of like Spider-Man. Like, you already know the origin of Spider-Man. You already know who Spider-Man is. It's going to be like, here's Blade, but also here's the
Midnight Suns universe.
The Midnight Suns. Yeah.
Sure. And I'm not saying that the guy can't do the job. That's not what I'm saying at all. Like, it's not a matter of like this was a bad casting or any of that. But immediately you have a situation where you're like, okay, is it as good as this? Like, that's what happened with The Mummy. When The Mummy came out, it was like, well, that's not Brandon Fraser. Like, who the fuck cares? So you kind of have exactly like that. Yeah. So there's like kind of this immediate thing, like Blade, huh? This doesn't look like Blade to me.
This ain't my Blade.
Yeah, exactly.
Blade.
Hashtag not my Blade. Yeah.
Well, I mean, what's his name? When Don Cheadle replaced Oh Boy Howard as War Machine,
people were pissed.
Yeah,
they ran with it because what choice do you have? But plus, he was side character versus like they didn't replace Robert Downey Jr. for the second one.
Fair enough. Yeah, but I mean, it's like
Batman. People were pissed.
Like every few decades, we'll get a new Batman, right? Or like every few years at this point, we get a new Batman or Spider-Man.
Every movie, it's just a different guy. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's like Spider-Man. Like every few years, we'll get a new Spider-Man, and like some people like Maguire, some people like Garfield, some people like Oh Boy Tom. And so, I mean, you never know. Like maybe this guy will be better than.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody involved has to realize, yo, guys, we're already behind Wesley, so we got to figure out how to really make this step. And by the time they can do it, then cool.
by the time it comes out, it'll be what, like literally 20 years? 20 years since the last Blade
Yeah, it'll
movie?
be close to 20 years.
When did the last Blade movie come out? Like 2003, 2004?
2004? Does that sound right?
I have no
Maybe.
idea. I have no idea.
But
It was
definitely-
early 2000s.
Yeah. Like, and because like that Blade's probably,
2004.
what,
Yeah, 2004.
Yeah.
So Blade's going to be what, 2022, 2023, maybe. So
Maybe if
who
this
knows?
stupid movie theater thing is going on.
It's weird to believe that that's 20 years ago by the time that comes
God.
out.
Did you guys see like the episode of What We Do in Did you guys watch What We Do in the Shadows, the TV series?
No.
Okay, well they have one episode. If you guys can go back and watch, they have a vampire council. Okay, so it's what's her name from
Tillman.
yeah, Tillman, the chosen one from Doctor Strange,
Ice Queen.
the Ice Queen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
That's
she's the
her.
bald chick.
It's all three of them from What We Do in the Shadows, the movie. It's Paul Rubens from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And it's also, they have like coming in by via satellite, Wesley Snipes as Blade.
And Danny Trejo.
And Danny Trejo as a
Huh.
vampire. But they have Wesley Snipes come in as Blade again. And he's in
I like
full
that.
garb, full everything, Blade.
How did they do that? That's not Disney, is it?
No. It's a Fox.
Fox.
So how do they put they own Fox? Well, when was this? When did this happen? Was this after the Fox acquisition?
Oh, it was before the merge. Yeah, it was
Before the merge? That's weird.
Yeah.
Well,
And
maybe Blade was still
glorious,
with-
though.
Wait, who had Blade?
New Line.
New Line.
No, Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers wouldn't have it.
It was New Line.
Had to be New Line, yeah.
Yeah, well, New Line's was New Line Warner Brothers back in the day? I know they own.
Well,
it
no,
now.
New Line was not. It was acquired by
Okay,
Warner Brothers
okay.
over time.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, because Warner Brothers, that's DC. So Marvel's not
Right,
going to be
yeah.
licensing out
Well,
Blade to
yeah.
DC. Like, no, sir.
No, they yo.
I mean, there was a time when Marvel almost sold Spider-Man to DC because they were going bankrupt. That was a real thing. That almost happened.
Man.
And then
Can
the
you
movie,
imagine all those Justice League movies? The Snyder cut would have had Spider-Man in it.
the Spider-Man cut.
The
Oh, my
Spider-Man
God.
cut, yes.
Yeah. And then the
Oh,
Spider-Man
no.
movie came out and saved Marvel. So yeah, that's a very real thing. Crazy what comics would look like right now if Marvel was like, struggled to the point of having to sell their characters.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
they may get to that point again, but
Yeah.
no, wait, no,
What?
they got Disney now, so yeah,
Disney,
never mind. They got the backing of
it's
Disney.
dude,
Yeah.
Marvel Comics could shut down tomorrow and Disney wouldn't even blink. They'd be like,
Yeah.
can we just like not have to deal with this anymore?
They'd be like,
Like,
Red.
oh, you're not gonna make comics for how many months? That's fine. We can start it up again later if you want.
Yeah.
True. It's sad but true.
Man. What does DC got vampire wise? They got any vampires? They got eye vampire.
Good question.
Does DC
That was
have?
DC, right?
I mean, they must have vampires of some kind. Why can't I think of any? I mean, immediately I'm
Yeah,
going to
either.
Blade. I'm going to Morbius. Marvel just has plain old Dracula.
Eye vampire. Eye vampire was a
A
DC
vampire.
Oh,
Yeah, that was like a new
the girl.
52 thing.
It was way
Well, she
before.
was
Well, I mean,
like-
it was that was part of the 52 reboot, but it was also like a book like in the 70s or 80s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because I think there was like talk about a movie, which is like when I was in CBCS, people were submitting those. I was like, this book sucks. Shit.
Vampires.
Yeah.
They don't really have any vampires that like people.
Looker?
Looker.
Chris said there's one called Looker. She looked it up. She said there's a
Looker.
Blood.
Mary Queen of Blood,
Nocturna.
Nocturna,
Roderick.
Broderick.
Roderick.
Oh,
These
Roderick.
are garbage characters.
Yeah,
I know who
these are-
Looker
Yeah.
is though.
Yeah,
Looker
these
is
are
like
terrible.
from like it's like Legion of Superheroes crap, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Isn't that
Probably.
Legion of Superheroes?
Yeah, the Legion.
Yeah, the Legion of Doom.
The character's first appearance was 1985 Batman and the Outsiders.
The Outsiders.
Oh, and she's actually been in Black Lightning, the TV show.
Yeah.
That's
Ooh.
crazy. No, she is not a Legion of Superheroes character. She's just a vampire chick
So
in comics.
So she's probably like a Batman affiliate character, sort of.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because
Is it?
Black Lightning was Outsiders.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. You know your book's bad when you have to attach Batman to it.
Batman, tangential Batman. Yep. Tangential Batman.
Once you get to the Batman.
It's like in the 90s, like you know your cells are doing bad when Venom or Spider-Man make a crossover in your book.
Yeah. It's like we're gonna cancel this book unless Venom can save it.
Darkhawk #7 featuring Venom.
Oh jeez.
It's like, oh, we need cells this month. Put them in.
So this is actually why I remembered I'm thinking of a completely different character, by the way, but this is why I remembered Looker. Because I always liked this cover. I thought it was cool, where she's taking a picture of herself, but she's not in the camera lens.
Oh yeah. I remember that cover. That's isn't that Gillian March?
Yes.
Nice.
Yep. What book is that?
This is from. Oh shit! I don't know. It doesn't say. I just looked up Looker from DC Comics, and it was like, okay, here's that.
I think that's supposed to be Superman in the bed with Poison Ivy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I do like that in the camera reflection, you only see the good dude and not her.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was I don't know how this came up, but there was let me take that off of there. And again, we're talking about like this is cool. Like with vampires, you know, they can't see themselves in the in reflections and all that kind of stuff. There was a thing I saw once that was talking about vampires and mirrors, and it was basically a history of the construction of mirrors. And in the old days, there used to be like a silver plate kind of behind these mirrors and involved in the construction of them. And so the theory is that because of the silver, that was what, you know, would keep the reflection from coming through. And I was like, God damn, I don't even know if that's
cool.
real, but I like the thought process of it. That's really cool.
See,
so yeah.
Tom, I'm like you. Like, I love conceptual shit like that, like thinking through like that. Like I want to read that one you talking about the girl underneath the water. That makes me want to read that so bad. I love shit like that.
Yeah, I think that's the kind of stuff that, like you know, like we talked about. There's a million Dracula and vampire movies and so on, comics and books and everything. But it takes something to put just a little hook on it that takes it out of what we already know. I mean, listen, Twilight was garbage, okay, but she did exactly that. She took something conceptual, which is they don't do the sunlight, right? She took it conceptually, modified it, essentially wrote a truly romance story style vampire book. And because of that, you know, it latched on and people were like, oh, this is, you know, this isn't just it's not just this.
Yeah.
And now everyone wants to go to Forks, Washington, which is literally the size of this hotel room.
Yeah, but again, that, you know, so we're talking about if you're going to do these from a creative side of things, if you're going to do a vampire story, and we actually talked to Phil about this not too long ago because he's doing a vampire story now. We were like, what you know, what is your vampire story? What is it that makes it that make, you know, you hate to always say like what makes it different, because it's not about being different, but it's about what is your hook to this this genre.
What makes it suck?
What makes it suck the most, man? You know, because like if you look at, for example, that vampires movie, Vampires, you know, it's not really that different. It's vampire hunters. They do have some unique like tracking things that they do, you know, to catch the guys.
Yeah.
But outside of that, it's really just the cast kind of being, you know, you got a Baldwin brother in there, and
Yep.
and Busey. It was Busey was the lead dude. No, not Busey.
James Woods.
James Woods. Who's
Yeah,
crazy.
I want to say it was
this
Billy
vampire.
Baldwin.
I think
It
it was
wasn't
Billy
Steven.
Baldwin.
I think it was Billy.
I think it was Billy
It was
Baldwin.
Yeah.
Billy Baldwin.
So you just had a crazy cast, you know.
Vampires. Yeah.
But when you're doing a book, when you're writing something, when you're doing a comic book, something like that, you really have to have something to for people to latch onto, in to make it quote unquote different. And you know, even when I did Ursa Minor, you know, we have vampires in there, but they're pretty straightforward vampires. My only hook really was, let's just make a werebear. Like, that's the hook. Is, yeah, there's werewolves and there's vampires. Oh yeah, and there's a bear. And usually, like, that's literally when I'm talking about comics at cons and stuff, and they're like, hey, what's this Ursa Minor? They're like, immediately they understand bear because it says Ursa Minor. That's immediately, they're already there, but they still ask. So like, what is this Ursa Minor? And I'm like, well, there's a werebear. And their eyes are like, what? And that's it. I don't even have to tell them anything else anymore. It's just that, well, that's cool, you know, and boom, we're in. There's your sale. So you need to have something that that when you pitch the idea, like, okay, my thing is about vampires, and but instead of silver, they're allergic to gold for some reason, you know, whatever it is. Copyright Tom Hutchison. And and so yeah, so that's that. From a creative standpoint, I think writing monster stuff is kind of tricky, because you kind of have to find something to kind of put just a little elbow grease on it to make it pop. Like when I do with Antoinette, we have and we already talked about this, so it's not really a spoiler. We have one of the next books that we're doing with Antoinette is an expansion of the entire universe called Lesser Evil, which has Frankenstein and Dracula and you know, other stuff in it. And I have a really interesting take on Frankenstein, which I'm kind of excited to do. So and no one gets to know because it's copyright Tom Hutchison. But you know, always try and find just a little bit of something, and just turn the screw just a little bit more, and then you come up with something unique and fun. Either go like you know, you've got horror, right? Hang a right turn, you're into comedy. Hang a left turn, you're into parody. You know, whatever you want to do. Go down the stairs and you're at Totally Rad, you know, Porn Factory. You know, whichever way you want to go. Yeah.
Welcome to the porno dungeon.
That's right. Just don't keep going straight. Always make a little bit of a left turn or a right turn. And you know, from a creative standpoint, that's how you kind of can help your audience be like, oh, he's making something cool. So yeah.
Hell yeah.
Well, Stephen King always said too, he made a quote one time that, you know, comedy and horror is almost the same damn thing. It's like that far apart.
Yeah.
He said if you can write horror, you can write good comedy.
What was that comedy that Stephen King wrote?
I think it was Misery, right? That was the comedy. Misery.
I can see that as a comedy.
Just joke. See, I can write comedy. See, I just did it right there.
There you go.
No, his I mean, he wrote some stuff for like Creep Show, which was kind of campy, goofy stuff.
Meteor shit. Salem's Lot.
Salem's Lot. That's some old school.
Yeah.
That's some old school.
Which I've never seen.
I remember seeing Salem's Lot when I was a kid. I didn't understand it. I literally just didn't understand what was happening. I've never gone back to it.
That's one where he brings the kid back.
I don't know.
No, that's Pet Cemetery. Never mind.
Is it? Oh, yeah, that's Pet Cemetery.
Salem. Which one's Salem's Lot?
Christy.
Salem's Lot is like a bunch of people in a house, and there's ghosts and vampires and stuff.
Vampires and.
But I really didn't understand it. I really, that's all I can tell you, because I didn't understand it. I was not in the headspace to understand what was going on.
I may have never seen this. I don't think I have seen this. I'm really surprised. I've usually seen all
TV movie like it. back in the day.
And they've had a remake since.
And then they've had a remake, and of course, Return to Salem's Lot, and they've got a sequel. And
Huh. Wonder why I never saw it.
it's
Seems like I may have probably seen it, but maybe it just didn't have any impression on me.
you have. I mean, you've probably seen photos
Probably.
of it and you didn't know it.
Yeah. It's like Christine Kojo, and Carrie. 3 movies that start with a C, and I get them all mixed up.
What was that?
Carrie
Kojo?
with the dog.
Did you just say Kojo?
Did
Kojo?
you say Kojo?
No, it's the Holiday Inn. My voice echoes off the wall, so it sounds like I said.
Okay.
So here Kojo. I want to see that Kojo movie. So here's Salem's Lot. Well, that's the Return to Salem's Lot. But that's the vampire dude from the first one too.
Mm-hmm.
I swear, I have to have seen that because I recognize that. I have to have seen that, right?
I mean, maybe.
I don't know.
I am saying you've seen it.
Probably more than likely that I've seen it.
Me and you too much alike on movies, so I was saying you've seen it, but I haven't.
Or maybe it's you who have seen it, me who has not.
No, I haven't seen it. Christy's seen it. She said it scared the hell out of her when she was younger. So she's never seen it again.
Clearly, I was too sophisticated for it.
Oh,
That's what I'm going to go with. That's what I'm going to go with.
yeah, let's go with
Like
that.
this.
Let's go with,
This is just not worth my time, guys.
yeah, that's it. Okay.
Whatever's happening here,
Like
it doesn't really matter.
Tom?
Huh?
Kind of like The Exorcist?
We don't talk about that at nighttime. That's not a nighttime discussion. This is a daytime podcast only.
Well, we're in daylight savings time, so the sun's still kind of out.
Maybe where you are, but not where I am.
Not me either.
Oh no, never mind. It's nighttime.
Okay, yeah. So we'll just put the end to that. That's the end of that.
Pin it.
Well, good night.
Oh my god. So let me see here. What else do we have on this list? Did you guys see Daybreakers? This was another interesting one.
Yes.
Daybreakers.
A long time ago.
Daybreakers was where the vampires were setting up blood harvesting stations, like farm. Like they took people and hooked them up to machines and kept them alive, and they were just draining the blood so the blood would replenish, so that they could basically wipe out most of humanity, but they would have enough people saved to keep cycling the blood.
It was like a vampire 7-Eleven.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what we're forgetting? You know a vampire movie we're forgetting?
Probably many.
Near Dark.
I've never seen it.
It's got Bill Paxton and Lance Henriksen.
James Cameron.
Did
James Cameron produce it? He didn't direct. He produced it, right?
Yeah, I don't think he directed. I think he produced it.
I think he produced. Oh, yeah, but
Tom Paxton's in it. Bill Paxton's in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Real
Vasquez
good.
Is in it from
Really
Aliens. Good. Lance Hendrickson from Aliens.
Also from Aliens.
Yeah, Bishop.
There's a theme here.
Yeah. Oh, it's good though. Yeah, that's one you need to put
It's really good. But it's hard to find. I guess it's hard to find now. Like you can't. I don't think you can stream it. I think you actually have to buy a physical copy of it. It's. I think it's another. It's like one of those. It's like Fright Night. It's one of those movies that's very overlooked. Like people miss it. Like they don't really know too much about it.
I've definitely heard of it. But yeah, no, I haven't. I have not.
They got a motorhome in it.
Yep.
Oh, that was weird. So here's a German movie we all should see.
U571.
Yeah, I found a German movie we should all see. It's called We Are the Night.
Yeah, we need to see that.
There's your lady vampires right there.
There's the Victoria's Secret lady vampires.
Totally rad vampires.
Yep.
Wow.
So
yeah, that was on the 150 best list.
What number was it?
Yeah, wait.
It is.
What's number one?
It was a really weird top five. Let me get back to it here. So number one. Okay. Oh shit! I just lost where they were. So that one.
Oh, Priest. Yeah.
Was. I just lost it.
It's not Lost Boys. It's probably Dracula. I bet. Probably Spanish version.
I think it's probably one of the Hammer. The Hammer films is number one. It's my guess.
It should be Lost Boys. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, I'll find it in a second. So number one was Nosferatu.
Oh,
The original
Okay.
Nosferatu.
Oh,
Number
I've
one
seen
was
that.
Nosferatu.
okay.
Number two is the 2008 Let the Right One In, which is one I have not seen yet.
Oh, yes.
I've seen that one.
I saw it in the I saw it in the theater. That's
Yeah.
a good one.
Yeah.
I've not seen that. Number three.
I don't know if
Is
that
it-
would be number two. Though. Jeez.
That's I know that's really high, right? Number
It's
three is a
pretty
TV movie, The Night Stalker.
Richard Ramirez.
No,
Uh,
no, it is something I've never seen of or heard of. Apparently, from this picture, it looks like it's happening in Las Vegas. Las Vegas newspaper reporter investigates a series of murders committed by a vampire. 1972. That is number three on the list.
was that like the dude from Christmas Story? What's
No.
his name? Okay, that Night Stalker is not that one.
No. Oh, yes, it is. Darren McGavin. Yes.
Yeah, Darren McGavin.
Yeah.
Yep.
That is it.
Okay.
That is it.
Yeah, I watch that all the time.
Yeah. So number four is Interview with a Vampire,
See that?
Okay.
which is interesting. Number five is What We Do in the Shadows, which is another one I've
Yes.
not seen.
Yes. One of my
The
favorites.
guy who made that, isn't that the guy who did Thor Ragnarok?
Taika Waititi.
Yeah.
Taika Waititi.
Yes. That
Yes.
guy. That guy. And then number six is Dracula, the original Dracula, the Bela Lugosi thing.
Wow. I
Which,
figured it'd be higher up.
well, to be perfectly honest, I would put it at the bottom of most of these lists
Yeah.
because I understand for its time, like its moment in time. Like it's like,
Right.
what are we doing in the 30s? Like this is some fucking shit right here.
Yeah.
But watching this, and I think I saw Dracula for the first time probably about maybe 15, 20 years ago. Like where they were putting them out on special DVDs or something. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll get this. And so I got it and I was like, God damn, this is boring. Like every shot of Dracula, he's just it's all so slow and so it's just like this is mind-numbingly boring. It is interesting though, because like again, we'll go to Dracula, but this is from this is Bela Lugosi and Ed Wood. You know, they talk about you know Ed Wood and Bela Lugosi are watching Dracula on TV, and he starts talking about the ladies like the they like the old, you know, vampires, and he's doing all the little like trying to doing all this stuff. And I was like, I mean, I get that. That's kind of interesting, and that leads right into, you know, Twilight. If you can, I mean, listen, romance novels and stuff are some of the biggest selling things on the planet. So if you can figure out a way to do romantic monster movies, Warm Bodies, that zombie movie where love brought him back from being a zombie. I mean, like it's crap, but there's going to be a market for that stuff. And
Where's the sequel?
One of my favorite movies ever.
you don't have to have a sequel to be a good movie.
No.
And in fact, most
Coming to America too.
yeah, that's a different podcast.
That's a different.
But yeah, most
Did you see
sequels
that?
aren't worthy of the original.
Did you guys see that
So
one?
number 7 and number 8. Number 7 is Nosferatu again, but it's a 1979 adaptation.
Yeah.
They did it again.
It's
So
color now.
They recut
yeah.
it.
And then number 8 is 1932 Vampire, Vampyr,
Oh,
1932.
Okay.
And then number 9 is Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Oh.
Come on, that one really?
Yep.
That
And
one.
then
That one would
That's
be.
yeah, that's something we can talk about here in a minute. Then
Yeah.
10 is Horror of Dracula. That's a 1958 Horror of Dracula. That's a Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dracula movie, Hammer horror stuff. And then 11 is Dusk Till Dawn, and then 12 is Lost Boys. So top 12, you know, it's
12
kind
is
of
good.
interesting. It's kind of interesting. But yeah, so going back to this guy,
Bunhead.
bloop.
Yep.
This movie to me, I remember seeing this movie the first time and coming out of it like, what in the hell was that? I was so confused about everything I was seeing. I mean, Keanu Reeves and Winona Ryder, like, what happened there? That should have never happened. and I basically just rejected the film, like just outright for years and years and years and years. And then somehow I saw it again. I don't know how. It was like HBO or something. And I just like watched it again, and I started to see things that I didn't see the first time. And I came out of it like, okay, wait a minute, something's going on here.
We need to watch it again.
And then I watched it again when I got, because they put out a Blu-ray of that and Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, which I love Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. So I was like, I'll just buy that for the Blu-ray and I get Dracula fine.
Yeah.
And so I watched it on the Blu-ray and I watched it again. And immediately, like, I was like, my eyes open. I was like, oh my God, I get it. This is basically a Mel Brooks movie. It's not Mel Brooks. This is not serious. This is meant to be I don't believe this is a serious movie in any capacity anymore. With the acting choices, the casting, all the weird models with the trains, like it's clearly not a comedy, but it's not. I refuse to believe they thought they were making a serious Dracula movie. And then ever since I saw that one time, every time I saw it again, I was like, you guys, you're so cute. You're so fun. It's not a serious movie. And if you go in not expecting a serious movie, it changes the way you see the movie. Gary Oldman, of course, is great. Like, he's fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
He plays a great Dracula, whether he's the crazy butthead dude or the the English Lord version or whatever. He's great. He's great. And the guy who plays Renfield is bat crap crazy, which is great. So there's good parts. There's plenty of bad movies that have good parts. Dracula is just a weird movie that has good parts. Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Every time I think of Renfield, though, I think of Dracula Dead and Loving It. Renfield.
Yeah, right.
What's his name? Renfield.
Oh, jeez.
I love that movie. That's one of my favorites. It's so bad. I love it.
Yeah. And so it's funny that we've been talking about all these movies and we really have barely touched on Lost Boys, which is probably, I mean, I would assume based on knowing you guys that if we had to create a top 5 vampire movie list, I'm pretty sure that's at the top of all of our lists.
And Fright Night for me is tied.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I love both of them too much. But yes, Lost Boys. That one really got me into vampire movies back in the day.
Yeah, the more that we do these shows and we talk about these movies that like came out in the 80s, there's so many of these things that I was like, where the hell was I? Because I didn't see this.
Right?
It's really strange, like really strange. Yeah. And Lost Boys is one of them. I did not see this movie in the theater.
I didn't either.
I'm pretty sure I probably saw it at a friend's house or on TV or something the first time. I had no understanding of what that this thing even existed. So, but yeah, I thought it was fantastic. Camp, obviously. I mean, this was not a serious vampire movie.
No,
it had some scary stuff in it. Scary, quote unquote, for what it is. But it wasn't. It was clearly a horror comedy. And it all worked. It all worked so well. Apparently Jim doesn't want to talk about it.
No.
Oh no, I have to adjust something in here real quick.
Uh-oh.
That's pants. So basically that's just pantsless Jim.
Yeah.
No.
Oh,
I'm still here.
That one too. I'll talk about that one here in a minute too. Yeah. I'll mention that one.
Pantsless Jim.
Pantsless Jim needs to do something.
But here's and I should have kind of looked back and figured this out, but here's a vampire movie that maybe, tell me if I'm wrong, everybody. This is 1987 is Lost Boys. Tell me if I'm wrong. Maybe the first time we get vampires that aren't like cloak and cape and dresses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the old school dress up and stuff. maybe this is the first time that we've seen sort of the punk vampire. And again, that's what we're talking about. Like, how do you take because really there's nothing else about the movie that's unique to vampires. Everything you have to invite them in, the stake to the heart, all the typical vampire things are there. But because the vampires themselves are visually reset, I think that was an immediate like, whoa, what are we looking at here? This is not what we're used to with vampires.
Agreed. And it I don't know if this is just me, like, I want your guys' opinion on it. Like, it seems like to me, even though it was a vampire movie, it borrowed stuff from Jaws. Like, it was set out in like this little community out in the middle of the coast, kind of like Amityville or Amity Island. And people were getting killed and shit and all, and they didn't know why. There was always missing people and all for a while. And they found out, of course, it's vampires and a shark. There's the difference. But to me, like, they kind of ran parallel a little bit. And, yeah, I might be just talking out of my ass.
Yeah, I think so.
I think I am. So. But, yeah.
So basically what you're saying is they really just needed to shoot the lead vampire with some barrels, and they would have been fine?
No. Maybe silver barrels, but not
definitely not yellow.
Maybe garlic barrels.
Fill them with garlic. Sure. Fill them with garlic.
But I love the whole garlic scene in Lost Boys. Like, when he's got the garlic around his chest and all, and he's going to bed, and he's like, his mom's like, "Oh, night, honey." He's like, "Shit, night." I love the little scenes in it. Like, that's one thing I love about Lost Boys.
When they're filling up the water guns at the church with the holy water. It's like they got those water guns too, man. Like they look badass. Like back when water guns could look cool.
Right.
Yeah.
They're like Uzi looking water guns.
Yeah, I remember those days. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, it was good. Did you guys ever see the sequels?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The Tom Savini
specifically for Corey Feldman.
Yeah.
They were so weird. They were so bizarre. The second one especially. The second one made no sense to me whatsoever. The third one kind of turned it around and was it was okay. But the second one was so fucking weird.
Was the third one the Tribe?
Third one was I don't remember.
I think it was
because I know the second one was directed and done by Tom Savini. He did
Lost Boys.
Really?
Lost Boys 2 was the Tribe.
Okay, that was the Tribe. Okay.
Lost Boys 3 was the Thirst.
Yes.
And the Thirst was the one that actually introduced werewolves into the overall storyline. But it kind of reset everything, because the second one was such a mess. Like the frog brother was a vampire, and he was like coming down to eat people in this weird car and stuff. And then Corey Haim was a vampire at the end, which I was okay with that. Like, but then of course Corey Haim died, and
he was
all of that just kind of went, into the wind.
He was supposed to be in that movie way more than what he was in.
Yeah, it was a mess of a time for him at the end. But then like the third one was great. You start off with him at Haim's gravesite, and he's putting the Batman comic, down there. Because that was from the first movie. Like, you got any Batman number 5? I'm always looking for the other 2 copies. And so, he finally got the copy, put it on. It was good. Yeah. I mean, they tied it in. It was nice. It was a good memory for him. And then they went and told their own story. They kind of said, okay, we've done our thing, and now we got to tell our story. And it was okay. I doubt we'll ever see Lost Boys again. At this point.
Well, they'll do Lost Boys 4: A Quest for Peace.
Oh, jeez.
Lost Boys 4: The Rise of Skywalker.
They'll pick up. They'll get Michael's grave and throw him in the sun.
No! Lost Boys 4: A New Corey.
No. Lost Boys 4: Lost in Space.
Yeah, we have to take them to space.
Yeah.
If we're gonna
space.
end the
Take 'em to
franchise,
space.
you have to take them to space.
Yep. And Corey will like be shot out of the airlock, and he'll be going like this, going away.
Oh my god. Yeah.
And that'll be the ending.
What was the movie with? Oh yeah, we talked about this. This was vampires. Yeah, shot him with the harpoon and pulled him back. Yeah, that was vampires. Yep.
Love that one, John. That's one of my favorites too. That whole
Good.
and like cuts that guy in half. Ooh,
Yeah.
that was cool.
Fright Night is 23. Monster Squad is 24. 25 is Underworld.
Oh wow, that's lower than I thought it'd be. Too.
26 is Near Dark. 28 is Shadow of the Vampire. I'm skipping a lot because these are just movies that
26.
Yeah.
no one's
So
ever heard
20
of before.
26 Near Dark. That's okay.
I figured
It's good
that'd
that
be
it's on the
higher.
list.
Mm-hmm.
Should be up higher. You're right.
Salem's Lot 31. Lots of Hammer horror stuff.
Right.
If I had the money, I'd. collect
Bad
that
Monster
stuff.
Party is on here at 40.
I need to get that. I've never seen it. I need to get it.
30 Days
Here's
of
the Bad
Night
Monster
is
Party.
42.
No, I want the puppets. She's arguing with me.
The
Yeah,
puppets.
you got
puppets.
to get. Actually, both Fright Nights make the list. Fright Night was at 23 and now at 56.
Oh wow!
That,
And then there was.
it'd be
a
funny if the
sequel.
remake was higher than the original.
We Are the Night is 62. Dark
Oh.
Shadows actually makes the list at 63. Oh my
Wow.
god. Love at First Bite. We talked about that earlier. That was 65.
Oh damn!
Van Helsing. This is one we haven't touched on. That
Yeah.
garbage pile of a movie,
Oh,
Van Helsing. And then right below it, somehow below it, is Vampires. Somehow Vampires is worse than Van Helsing. And I call bullshit on this list. I
I
call
call-
100%
Wait,
bullshit
wait.
on this list.
who was Van Helsing in that movie?
Wolverine.
Jackman.
Hugh Jackman. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman
Kate
as
Beckinsale
Van
was
Helsing.
on
Yeah.
Yeah. This was a crap pile of a movie.
I saw that movie. I saw that movie in the theater.
Listen, I did too. We all did. We all did. We all
did.
suffered. We all suffered, man.
Well,
There is no one on the planet that could convince me that movie is good. Where the hell was it? Somehow it was on TV, and I was like, oh yeah, same thing. Like it can't be as bad as I remembered it. I got through the first 30 minutes, and I was like, this is shit.
And it's Stephen Sommers. You knew that, right? The guy that
Yeah.
did the movie.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what the hell happened?
They had too much that they were trying to do.
Yeah.
The budget, I don't know, the CG was crap. Frankenstein looked ridiculous. I mean, the Dracula actor was terrible. I mean, really, you had Hugh Jackman and you had the girl. Oh my God, Kate Beckinsale. And then you really had nothing else.
That's the only thing I remember about that movie.
What I mean,
the sword
just
was like, dun,
so
dun,
bad,
dun.
so bad. I remember I was at San Diego Comic-Con and we were at a panel. Actually, we were waiting for another panel, but this one happened in the meantime. So we were like, we'll just sit in Hall H and not give up our seats. And so this happened, and it was Hugh Jackman and some of the other guys. And then we were like, okay, they're talking about this. That's fine, because the movie hadn't come out yet. And so they're talking about it. And then somebody asked a question. He's like, so who would win, Wolverine or Van Helsing? And what's his name? Sonnerberg or whatever. He looks down at Hugh Jackman. Is like, yeah, Hugh, who would win? And Hugh just starts laughing. He says, well, since I'm under contract for so many movies on one of these franchises, I'll go ahead and say Van Helsing would win. And everybody was like, yo, what are you talking about? Like the whole room was like, what the fuck?
Whoa.
Because we just assumed like there's no more X-Men. Like, what are you talking about, dude?
Yeah.
So it was kind of weird at the time. It was weird. And then of course the movie tanked and we never got a sequel, so it doesn't matter.
I just remember that weird Jekyll and Hyde at the beginning. That thing, he kind of creeped me out too. Like bad CGI, but at the same time, he was kind of creepy looking. Ugh.
Man, there's a lot of weird stuff, man. There's a lot of weird stuff on this list. The Legend of the Seven Golden Vampires, 1974. And that's another Hammer one. That's a Hammer one.
That sounds goddamn amazing.
Peter Cushing.
That almost sounds like a karate movie.
It is. Based on the poster, there's a dude in a karate gi with a sword. So yeah.
Yes.
While lecturing in China, Van Helsing agrees to help 7 kung fu trained siblings reclaim their ancestral mountain village, now the domain of 7 powerful vampires and their army of undead
watching this
slaves.
Whoa, that actually it sounds like a really good movie, but I feel like I'd be disappointed.
Just a little.
But the plot sounds really cool.
boy. Yeah, I mean
That is
that is basically everything about the 70s put into one movie right there.
Yes.
Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter 82.
No, oh God.
Oh, dude, that's a Vampire Slayer knockoff.
Yes. No.
Oh no, wait, no, never mind. No, I'm thinking of Abe Lincoln Zombie Slayer. Never mind.
Yeah.
Oh,
Zombie Slayer was the knockoff of the Vampire Slayer movie.
Yeah. That movie.
Dracula Dead and Loving It is at 89.
That should be higher.
Oh man,
Oh,
Buffy the Vampire Slayer 97.
Good God.
That's not a great movie, guys. That really isn't a great movie. And then at
Oh.
101, we get the first Twilight movie.
Shouldn't even be on the list.
103 is Once Bitten. That's that Jim
Oh.
Carrey movie we talked about.
Yeah.
Queen of the
But I feel
Damned,
like-
109.
I feel like box office wise, like Twilight has beaten out a lot of these films.
Sure. Oh,
unfortunately.
no question. No question.
Yeah.
No
Oh,
question.
there's a vampire movie where he's like at a circus and it's got John C. Reilly in it.
Yeah, that I just went past
Oh.
that. It's The Vampire's Assistant.
Yes.
That's the one, yeah. That wasn't a bad movie.
It wasn't bad. For your health.
Pretty sure I read the book. I think there was a book about it.
Wow, all of those Dracula movies made the list. Dracula 2000, Dracula 2 is 128, and Dracula 3 is 129.
Damn.
What about the one with the guy from The Hobbit in it, where he's Vlad the Impaler?
Whoa, I have no idea what that is.
Jack
He-
Hope,
Yeah, Dracula Untold.
Luke Evans.
Luke Evans.
Oh, Dracula Untold. Yeah. I
That's
went
the one, yeah.
I went right past that because that was a crappy movie.
Do we have it now?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen it in a while. I think I seen it when it first came out, and I haven't seen it again. So that tells you that
Yeah, the rewatch factors.
I'm probably gonna go.
All the Blood Rain movies down here. Yeah, there's a lot of just odds and ends of stuff on here. But yeah, that's it's an interesting genre. I don't know that there's a lot that really stands out from a unique standpoint. There's definitely stuff that stands out from a individual standpoint. Lost Boys, Nosferatu, even something like the 7, whatever the hell that was, the 7 vampires of China. Yeah, right. Whatever that was. Now you're talking about kung fu vampires. I can't say I don't want to see that.
Totally rad Kung Fu Vampires. This sounds like something I would write. Oh no,
That's
totally rad
exciting.
Kung Fu Vampires with tits.
Oh my god, totally rad kung fu vampires. I think that's good. I think that's good. I think you
Thanks.
got something there. I
Do it.
think you've got something there.
I will draw the new version cover. Damn it, I can't talk. For you.
And then we'd have to do a 7-piece connecting set.
Of
one for
course.
each vampire.
Yeah.
Of course.
With just
Each
moving.
one doing like you can do like one in the monkey, one in the
Yeah.
Oh,
dragon
yeah, like-
pose, like all the different kung fu's, the stork, Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Daniel LaRusso pose.
Oh God.
Yeah.
That
No,
pen-
you have something there. There's something that can be done there. That's there's some epicness potential. Assuming you can write more than 5 pages, you'll be fine.
Oh well, yeah.
Oh
yeah.
wow.
Or I'll just write 3 pages. Or write 5 pages and then just put a bunch of reprints of my other books in there to make it a full book. Which is exactly what I did with the toaster. Oh
That could be a
man.
Halloween thing. You could do it for Halloween. October.
Yeah. Well, the problem is like now I have like 4 Halloween books I want to do.
Oh my God.
2 of which are Giovanni, the other 2 are me, and I'm just like, oh man, I don't know how I'm gonna work this one out. There's not enough Halloweens in the year.
That's easy. You just make one book. You make it an anthology.
There you go.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Well, that's what I'm here for, Jim.
That's why Tom makes the big money.
I'm here to
that's
help
exactly what I was
Totally
gonna say,
Rad
like-
become a legitimate company.
Oh my god.
That's why he gets the Big Dog Ink books.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. See what it says right here?
Big Dog Ink.
Yeah. Well, you let me know when the Totally Rad Kung Fu Vampires is happening, and we'll figure out how to do that. There's got to be, you know what you do? You got to release that on Chinese New Year. That's easy. I mean, I'm just doing this for you right now.
Oh man. Oh, I feel like I don't know. I feel like I'd get in trouble because I'm not Chinese and I wrote a book about Chinese characters.
You know what? I'm not a cat girl.
Fair enough.
Do I
Who the
have
hell
boobs?
cares? You know.
Yeah, you're right.
I draw
I'm not.
boobs.
Yeah, I'm not a chick with big boobs, and I'm still
No.
writing those books.
Yeah.
Who cares? Who cares? You know,
Do it.
you don't
Just do
don't
it.
need to make it like something from the 60s or 70s. You know, you don't have to make it like Dr. Seuss and the Chinese kid eating, you know, his things. Like you don't have to be ridiculous about it, but you know, you just make a fun. Listen,
Yeah.
listen. There is probably one piece of entertainment in the world that
Right.
has Kung Fu Vampires, and that's it. And it's from 1974, so it's due for an upgrade. Find a way to upgrade it and have some fun with it, and you know, and there
Hell
you go.
yeah.
100%,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
And just remember, whatever you do, you're going to piss one person off anyway.
Yeah. I mean,
And you just
give.
you're just like, hey, look,
Yeah.
take this home and read it. Just give them a free copy.
Yeah.
And then they're
Yeah.
like, oh well, okay, I'll just take a free copy. All right.
Yeah, and then they'll read it and go,
You signed
they'll go,
for
wow,
me,
there's a lot of splash pages of naked ladies in here.
I thought this was supposed to be
Page 1 splash page, boobs. Page 2
Be like-
double splash page.
Be like on airplane, just like a splash page with like 2 boobs going.
Yeah,
Like it's going across the screen.
It's a PG movie, but there's a pair of tits that show up halfway through the movie.
I love that. That movie's it should be proud.
Oh my god. All right, guys, we're going to be getting wrapped up here. We want to talk to you about next week though before we
Yes.
go.
Oh.
And Jim's gone. He's like, fuck it, I'm not doing this.
I'm not doing this
I'm fixing
anymore.
my air
Screw
conditioner.
it.
So, guys, next week we will be back again, 10 Eastern time, Sunday the 21st. Sunday the 21st of March. Next week we already know what we're going to do. Amazing, right? Like we never know what the hell we're going to do until like the day before. So in this case, we're we're gonna go ahead and do this. So next week we're going to dive into dinosaur movies, just kind of in as a general thing. You know, so like 1 million years BC, Jurassic Park, whatever, just kind of dinosaurs in general. We all kind of like that stuff, and I think it'll be interesting to kind of go and research into some of these things. Like, you guys ever see Guanji and all those kind of weird stuff from back in the 70s? Yeah. There's some great dinosaur stuff that we can talk about. But in addition to the dinosaur chit chat, we have a ridiculously cool guest from my childhood. And I can't even believe that we got him to come on.
Oh
We are going to have Wesley Uri of Land of the Lost fame next week, not next year. Of course, Wesley plays Will from Land of the Lost, the older brother of Holly. I met
Run, Holly, run!
Run, Holly, run! Yeah, come on, Holly.
Good.
I met Wesley at he's Will too. I met Wesley at WonderCon about 6 years ago when I was there with Aspen Comics, and I was just wandering through the hall, and I came back an alternate route from the way I came, and so I went down a different aisle, and all of a sudden I ran smack into all of the Land of the Lost people. It was Chaka, Will, and Holly. They were all right there.
That's awesome.
And I was just
awesome.
basically I froze in my tracks. I was like, "Oh my god!" Because this is when they kind of had just started coming out and doing all of these types of shows. They do a lot of them now. They even go around with they have a raft. You can get in the raft with them and take the picture at some of the shows. So super super fun. Will is a cool guy. He is very very always very excited to talk about Land of the Lost. If you guys have not seen Land of the Lost, and we're not talking about the movie here, we're talking about the old 60s Croft TV show. If you guys haven't seen it, do yourself a favor, find some episodes. It's really wild. It's really fun. Season 3 is a little strange. It's really strange, but still kind of has some value to it. But season 1 and 2 are really the keys. I actually pitched a comic book to Croft for Land of the Lost. And we lost it to another publisher who then proceeded to fuck the whole thing up and never put the book out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who owns the comic rights to Land of the Lost currently?
Nobody.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is it
at least so far as I know? I mean, they may just have been rented out to somebody who's not using them. But as of right now, so that I understand it, Land of the Lost is not a licensed property for really anything at this point. After the movie came out and Danny Dipshit fucked that thing up.
Danny McBride?
Yeah, Danny McBride. After he fucked that thing up, basically.
What do you mean he fucked it up?
He fucked it up.
What did he
Danny
do?
McBride was a disaster in that movie. Absolute disaster.
I love that movie.
Disaster. Terrible.
It's a
so great.
but it's
like I got my 2 pyramids, one for my current wife, and then if she ever does me wrong, I'm going to banish her to the other pyramid.
Terrible.
That's so great.
Terrible.
Great movie.
But after that movie came out, but basically all the Croft stuff kind of stopped. They did do some. They did do something with Electro Woman and Dyna Girl, but I think that had already been kind of in play when the movie was kind of rolling. So it wasn't, it was like, just kind of let it go. But really there's been nothing since. And I would love to get, Land of the Lost stories going again, because it's an amazing universe. They did do a reboot of it, in the 90s, which it wasn't all that great. Originally, the cave girl in Land of the Lost, the reboot, that was supposed to be Holly originally. Like she was still in the Land of the Lost. But something fell through and they just, rewrote it to be just random cave girl chick. But yeah, so we'll have the lizard people, the Slee Stack. Yeah, the Slee Stack are great.
Yeah, the Slee Stacks.
Slee Stacks are great. So we'll have Wesley with us next week. He'll chit chat with us for a bit, and then we'll dive into dinosaur stuff, sort of in general. We are going to do like a Jurassic Park show one of these days, but we're going to kind of wait until the next movie comes out so that we can have so that we can have like a complete beginning to end talk. I mean, we could talk about the original trilogy, I guess, first, because they are it all goes together, of course, but they do kind of, you can kind of look at them as 2 different trilogies.
And by the time we do that episode, we could probably bring on a guest who was in Jurassic Park, like William H. Macy, because Shameless his TV show Shameless is about done, so we could bring him in from Jurassic Park 3.
There you
go. And interview him.
Anyone is welcome. Laura Dern.
It'd be awesome to get Edie Wong or
Laura Dern.
Edie Wong would be amazing.
Vince Vaughn from Lost World. And then that would be our ticket, right? We get Vince Vaughn, and then because we get Vince Vaughn, then we could get Jon Favreau. See, well, next.
And then that's how it works.
Yeah, okay.
We get him on, and then we bash the Mandalorian.
That Grogu character, where the hell that was.
Welcome to the show, Jon Favreau. Your show sucks.
Click. And he's gone.
Tell Dave, why don't you fire Dave Filoni?
Oh God. Holy cow. So yeah, guys, so that's gonna do it for us tonight. Vampires. This was fun. There was a lot of stuff
Yep.
that I had forgotten about or literally didn't even know about in this genre. So
Billy the Kid.
Billy the Kid, yeah,
Kid.
for sure. Definitely gonna have to check out the original Fright Night now. Yeah. There's definitely some vampire stuff I want to get a hold of and have a peek at. So next week, folks, is Dinosaur Day. Wesley Uri as our special guest. Thank you all for hanging out. If you're watching on YouTube, of course, click that subscribe button. Go back and watch our previous 11 episodes. All kinds of stuff, time travel and westerns. We have Adam Marcus was our original guest on episode 6, talking Friday the 13th. So go back, check out all the old episodes, and then catch up with us next week when Wesley Uri shows up for a Land of the Lost dinosaur chat. We'll see y'all next week. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
See ya.